Excellent. All right, so we're picking up with Sri Sharda Devi and Her Divine Play by Swami Chaitananda, and we're on page 748 uh, on the chapter Return to Her True Abode. And Mother has passed away, leaving her body behind and moving on to whatever lies beyond. And so we pick up with that news here. Swami Sharadananda is writing in his diary. So Swami Sharadananda wrote in his diary, Tuesday, July 20th, 1920, Holy Mother in peace and glory of Mahasamadhi at 1:30 a.m. According to the Hindu calendar, the day begins at sunrise, whereas according to the Gregorian calendar, it begins at midnight. So, by the Gregorian calendar, Holy Mother passed away at 1:30 a.m. on Wednesday, the 21st of July, 1920. Swami Nikhilananda wrote, on the 21st of July, 1920, about 1 o'clock in the morning, it became evident that Holy Mother's last moments were at hand. The attendants began to chant the Lord's name. Half an hour later, the mother breathed deeply several times and entered into deep samadhi. Peace-eyed slumber settled over her body, which, though ravaged by a long illness, suddenly relaxed and gave out a celestial light. Many of her devotees were deceived by this radiance and thought that she was still with them. Swami Arupananda said, "What a wonder! As a result of prolonged suffering, the mother's body was completely emaciated and reduced to only skin and bone, pale and worn out, and thus it looked at the time of death. When her prana, her life force, vanished from the body, Sharat Maharaj asked her women attendants to replace her cloth with a new one, make a new bed, and place her body on it. Incense was lighted near her bed. Grief-stricken, all sat around the mother's body. Suddenly, someone saw the mother's face had become radiant, and a halo appeared around it. He cried out, "Look! Look, the mother's face has become illumined." Everyone cast a glance on the mother's face, wondering. They were looking at one another, asking themselves, "From where has this radiance suddenly appeared? We've never seen such a thing before." Everyone's heart burst into delight and astonishment. They began to sing bhajans, especially songs glorifying the Divine Mother. At that time, there was no telephone in Udbodhan House. Swami Sharadananda immediately sent Vibhuti Ghosh to Belur with the sad news. Swami Shivananda sent most of the monks to Udbodhan House to see her and to bring her body to Belur. They arrived in the early dawn. It was a sight to see. Swamis Sharadananda, Nirmalananda, Dhirananda, and other monks, M. Shantiram Ghosh, Kiran Datta, Dr. Durgapada Ghosh, Yogin Ma, Golap Ma, Mahamaya Mitra, Sudhira, and other devotees stood encircling the mother silently with folded hands. Bharata continued fanning her. Grief-stricken, Sharadananda went to his room and lay down on his stomach, pressing his face into his pillow. Ishanananda wrote, in the morning the mother's face became very serene, and the color of her body gradually turned bright. Yogin Ma called Sharat Maharaj to see it. Maharaj came and saw the mother's divine body, offered a handful of flowers at her feet, and bowed down. Swami Gauriswarananda reminisced, after the mother's passing away, Sharat Maharaj left her room, went downstairs to his room, and cried. After some time, Yogin Ma called him from upstairs. Sharat, come upstairs and see. What more is there to see? Replied Sharat Maharaj with tearful eyes. Yogin Ma answered, see what you have never seen before in your whole life. He went upstairs and was dumbfounded to see the mother's luminous face. He bowed down, touching his head to her feet, and then returned to his room downstairs. Sarala wrote, It was heartbreaking to see the mother's face when she was ill, and now her face revealed a dazzling beauty, exactly like the face of Mother Durga in an image. We dressed her in a silk cloth with the thin red border. 2 photographs were taken of the mother's body. The first one was taken in her room without any people around her. She is seen lying on her bed. Her face and feet are visible. The second picture was taken downstairs in the courtyard of Old Bodhan House. The mother is seen lying on a cot covered with flowers. Her serene face shows that she has just gone to sleep. Some of her disciples and devotees are standing on the other side of the cot. Brahmachari Bharata was holding a palm leaf fan. Swamis Shantanananda, Maheshwarananda, Avyaktananda, Boshi Sen, and others are visible in the picture. The mother's disciples put red paint on the soles of her feet and made many footprints as mementos. Here's the picture, if you want to see it. This is Mother in her bed of flowers there. In the morning, a large crowd poured into Udbodhan House. All right. The mother's body was brought downstairs and placed on a cot that was beautifully decorated with flowers and garlands. The devotees came one after another, bowed down to her, and took their last view of the mother. At 10:30 a.m., the monks and devotees lifted the mother's cot on their shoulders and began to walk from Bagh Bazar to Belur via Baranagar. Swami Sharadananda led the funeral procession barefoot, and hundreds of monks and devotees followed him. It was a hot summer morning. Swami Maheshwarananda, who was Mother's disciple and physician, was a tall man. He held an umbrella above the mother's face to protect her from the sun. Some parts of Kasipur Road were paved with big pieces of stone, and some parts with asphalt. All of the monks and devotees walked barefoot, so they got blisters because of the heat, but they did not feel any pain, as they were experiencing an indescribable ecstatic joy. The monks and devotees sang devotional songs throughout the journey. On the way, many other people joined the procession with flowers and incense. Finally, the procession reached Kutighat in Baranagar on the east bank of the Ganges. A big boat from the monastery was waiting to receive the mother's body, and several rented boats were there to ferry others. Swami Shankarananda was the helmsman of the mother's boat, and the other monks rowed it to Bellermat on the west bank. The infinite God becomes finite by assuming a human body, and all bodies, divine, human, or animal, are subject to destruction. There is no exception to this law of nature. Holy Mother cast off her human form and returned to her true abode, the formless, all-pervading consciousness. Because the mind has a form, it cannot think of that which is formless. Although Holy Mother's human form no longer exists, the photographs taken of her during her lifetime are now objects of our meditation. Swami Ishanananda wrote in his reminiscences, "Toward the end, the mother always expressed her eagerness to go near the bank of the Ganges. She said, 'Take me to the bank of the Ganges, and there I will cool myself.' When her body was brought to Bellermat, different monks suggested different spots for the mother's cremation. But Mahapurush Maharaj rejected their suggestions and selected the particular spot where her temple now exists. He said, 'Holy Mother will be at peace watching the holy river Ganges. She will bestow eternal peace upon humanity.' Swami Sharadeshananda left a written portrait of Belur before the mother's body arrived there and afterward. Swami Shivananda was gravely pacing back and forth on the upper floor of the main building. Sometimes he looked at the Ganges, Dakshineshwar, Kasipur, or Udbodhan from the upper veranda of the then again returned to his room. Only he knew what was going through his mind. Still, it was dark. When there was a little brightness in the east, Bhuban Babu, an old devotee, bowed to Swami Shivananda and said, Maharaj, the mother is shining in Udbodhan. A divine light has been seen radiating from her face. Seeing her, no one can tell that she has left us. All grief goes away upon seeing her face. The master's worship and food offering were arranged quickly. Swami Subodhananda was running around and supervising everything. Before the arrival of the mother's body, the master's worship service and food offering needed to be finished. There was a picture of Holy Mother in the master's bedroom at Belur Math. Lakshman Maharaj, the worshipper, asked permission from Mahapurush Maharaj, and then placed the mother's picture on the left side of the master's on the altar. He decorated the mother's picture with flowers and a garland. From that very day, the mother's daily worship began publicly at Belur Math. About noon, the mother's body arrived at Belur Math by boat. Her body was smeared with sandal paste and perfume, and the cot was so beautifully decorated with flowers and garlands. The mother's women devotees with tearful eyes bathed her body by dipping it in the Ganges, and then dressed her in a new cloth. After that, her body was brought to the courtyard near the steps of the master's temple. A monk performed the worship and arati by waving a lamp with 5 wicks. Many footprints of the mother were taken, and then her body was carried to the funeral pyre, which had already been set up with sandalwood on the spot where the present temple exists. Swami Sharadananda circumambulated the mother's body and set the wood on fire. Swamis Shivananda, Subodhananda, Nirmalananda, M., and many of the earliest men and women devotees surrounded the funeral pyre and watched that wonderful cremation. Swami Nirmalananda chanted some Vedic hymns. The blazing fire engulfed the mother's body, and everyone offered incense, perfume, and camphor as oblations. The cremation ended very quickly. To extinguish the fire, everyone began to bring water from the Ganges in earthen pots. Then it began to rain, and Swami Sharadananda asked everyone to stop bringing water. A small shower extinguished the funeral pyre and cooled the children of the mother from the summer heat. A few monks gathered the mother's relics and ashes in a copper vessel. It was amazing that there were not many relics of the mother's body. Most of them were reduced to ash. The copper vessel was carried into the master's shrine and placed in front of the mother's picture. There was a special food offering to the master with luchis, a vegetable curry, and rasagolas, which were afterward distributed among all present. In the evening, a disciple, Swami Sharadeshananda himself, burnt incense on the spot where the mother's body had been cremated. From the next day on, Swami Subodhananda designated a brahmachari to burn incense there every day. Wow, so there it is. How beautifully it was filled with devotion on every side. You just see that. And the way they walked, I mean, Baranagore, that's a good walk from there all the way back to Belur Math. I can just see that long parade of devotees with their incense and singing. It's quite wonderful that her face glowed like that and turned it to joy, turned everybody's mood to joy, to see such a beautiful radiance and change come over the body that had been so emaciated and so worn out like that.
Swami,
And
Swami Vivekananda was not there?
it doesn't seem. Yeah, he's not listed.
So how are the relics different to the ashes?
Well, meaning like bits and pieces, pieces that have a shape to them rather than just ash. And so they don't normally distribute just the ash. I mean, they might put it in a vessel or something like that for a relic. It would still count, I think. But the relics that are normally distributed will be something recognizable or known, a piece of bone or something like that, hair. Swami Bhuteshananda saw Holy Mother when she was alive, and he also saw her body in the courtyard at Udbodhan House after she had passed away. He followed the funeral procession along with the monks. He related a slightly different story with some additional information. We crossed the Ganges by boat and came to Bellarmont. At that time, the Ganges was just east of the Nagalingam tree, which was to the south of Swamiji's room and was planted by Swami Brahmananda. There was a slope in that area down to the Ganges. The mother's boat was anchored there, and her body was carried to a spot under the mango tree in the courtyard. The monks and devotees paid their last homage to the mother. Then her body was carried to the place where her temple exists. There was no ghat there, but the bank was even and parallel to the Ganges. The women devotees gave the mother a bath there. The funeral pyre was arranged with the sandalwood on the spot where the mother's temple exists at present. Brother Ramlal, the master's nephew, was invited to set fire to the funeral pyre, but he was not available, so his brother Shivaram set the fire as part of the ritual. It's hard to imagine. I saw this, there's a picture here a couple of pages earlier of Bellarmont in 1937. I can't find it now. And oh, here it is. And you can see there's no tall buildings. That the tall no the one the temple, the white temple in the middle right there where my thumb is, that's Holy Mother's temple, and then the very large one in the background is the main shrine, the one with the big round tops on it.
Mhm.
And then this one over here is Swami Vivekananda's temple.
Mhm.
And then this one over here is Swami Brahmananda's temple.
About when is that picture from, Maharaj?
This one's from 1937.
Thank you, Maharaj.
So it looks quite different now.
Mm.
Quite different. Yes. Swami Atma Prakashananda was in the procession, and he recalled, a bath was given to the mother's body at the old ghat of Bellarmont. I heard from Yogan Ma and Golap Ma that the mother's body was soft and flexible. It was very unusual because a dead body generally becomes stiff and inflexible. Her divine body was consigned to the fire at 3 p.m. Shalala, later Bharati Prana, reminisced. The mother's cot was carried to the Kuti Ghat at Baranagore via Kasipur. Golap Ma and Yogan Ma forbade me to join the funeral procession, saying, "What will you see there?" But Sister Sudhira grabbed my hand forcibly and dragged me in the procession. At that time, loud Hari Shankirtan, devotional music, was going on. My mind was blank. I walked to Kuti Ghat with the group. There, the monks and devotees carried the mother's body to a big boat. The women devotees boarded a small boat and went along with the big boat. At 2 p.m., we reached Bellarmont, and the mother's body was taken to a spot under the mango tree in the courtyard. The monks worshipped the mother's body and offered food. Her body was taken to the Ganges to be bathed, and some women held a cloth to block the view. Sister Sudhira and I took the mother's body in the Ganges and gave her a nice bath with the water. Lately, due to the excessive burning sensation of her body, the mother would often say, "Take me to the Ganges. Take me to the Ganges." This time I felt the mother's body was light and soft. We removed the cloth she had on and dressed her again in a new silk cloth with a narrow red border. Again the monks carried her body under the mango tree, and again they performed arati with light and incense. I watched everything, but my mind was so numb that I felt nothing. The funeral pyre was arranged where the present temple of the mother exists. It was hard for me to watch. I lay down behind Sister Sudhira. The mother's body was placed on the sandalwood pyre, and Sharad Maharaj and the other monks circumambulated the pyre and offered bell leaves, incense, and delium on it. Sister Prabodh grabbed my hand and lifted me up, saying, "Look how beautiful it looks." I saw the flames of the blazing fire rising high. At that time, there were no trams or buses like at present, so there was not much of a crowd. The blazing fire consumed the mother's body. I did not see the mother's body on the pyre because I kept my eyes down, thinking that there was no need to see that painful scene. When it was over, we encircled the pyre and offered oblations 3 times. It was amazing that there was rain on the other side of the Ganges, but not on our side.
Wow.
The all-devouring Agni, the god of fire, consumed Holy Mother's mortal form. Swami Bhuteshananda said, "After the cremation, the monks and devotees poured Ganges water over the slow-burning fire. I also poured water. Some monks gathered the mother's relics and ashes, and then the devotees began to collect the relics. Swami Sharadananda, leaving his natural gravity, loudly said, 'Let me remind those who are collecting these relics and ashes, if they cannot maintain their sanctity and do not worship them daily, great harm will befall them.' Hearing the Swami's grave warning, the devotees returned those relics to the funeral spot. Swami Sharadananda recorded in his diary, Wednesday, the 21st of July, 1920, procession to Bellarmont via Baranagore at about 10:30 a.m., and the Yagna at about 3 p.m. A heavy shower ended the ceremony at about dusk. Sunday, the 1st of August, 1920, a special puja of the Ramakrishna order at Belur and Calcutta Mats on account of the ascension of Holy Mother. All right, a new paragraph, new area. Mother, oh Mother. This is the shrine of Holy Mother at Bellarmont. Right there. Fully decorated. She's always got the most beautifully decorated shrine. Anytime you go there, sometimes even the walls are covered in flower petals. You know,
Wow.
she inspires so much devotion. You should see at her when it's her birthday. That you can hardly move in her temple because of the flowers are just so thick everywhere, all around. Just so beautiful. And she faces the Ganges, so she looks out her front door at the Ganges, and that's the same ghat there where all of the sannyasins take their bath when they first take their vows. So right there in front of Mother's face, Mother's presence. When Holy Mother passed away, Swami Brahmananda was in Bhubaneswar. On the 21st of July, around 1:30 a.m., Brahmananda was seated in his easy chair, covered with a shawl. He was grave. He asked Nirvanananda, "What is the time now? I don't know why my mind is so restless for the mother. I don't know how she is doing." "Maharaj, will you not sleep?" Nirvanananda asked. The Swami did not answer. "Shall I bring a smoke?" The Swami remained silent. Nirvanananda left the room. The next morning, Maharaj was pacing on the veranda restlessly and did not go out for his usual walk. That very day, a telegram came from Swami Sharadananda with the news that the mother had passed away at 1:30 a.m. Brahmananda's face became swollen with grief. He simply lay down. After a while, he got up and said to his attendant, "I shall eat only Havishana." Asterisk here, the footnote. According to the Hindu custom, when parents die, the son observes rituals for a minimum of 11 days, including offering prayers and water to the departed one. The bereaved son also eats havishana, boiled rice with ghee, wears one cloth, goes barefoot, does not shave, sleeps alone, and studies the Gita and the Upanishads, and so on. Those who are the mother's disciples should eat havishana once a day and not wear shoes. The Swami did not speak for 3 days. He ate havishana for 12 days, and he went barefoot. Then one day he said, "All these days we were protected by a big mountain." Just after the cremation, Swami Shivananda said to the monks and devotees at Bellarmont, "The Divine Mother Sati's body was divided into 51 pieces and fell in 51 places throughout India. Those places became Shakti Pitas or Devi Tirthas, and today that very Sati's entire body has become mixed with the ground of Bellarmont, so you can imagine what a great and holy place Bellarmont is." A couple of days after the mother's passing away, a respected couple who were the mother's disciples came to Bellarmont. They had come from far away to see Holy Mother, but their hopes were dashed to pieces. Swami Shivananda consoled them, saying, "The Mother is now all-pervading. One can now see her in everything and every being. Anyone who calls on her wholeheartedly will see her. Previously she lived in a particular place. Now she is everywhere. Do not grieve. Call on her with a sincere and longing heart, and she will reveal herself to you." Swami Shivananda's message touched many grieving hearts. Regarding Ramakrishna's passing away, Romain Rolland wrote, "The man himself was no more. His spirit had departed to travel along the path of collective life in the veins of humanity. Similarly, when the mother's earthly life ended and she merged into the divine, her spirit began to spread in the east and the west. The following 2 letters testified to the mother's divine influence, permeating the minds of 2 important persons, one of the East and one of the West, who knew her intimately. M., the recorder of the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, received immense love and grace from the Master and the Mother. Holy Mother initiated him, his wife, and all his children. A little over a year after the mother's passing away, he wrote a letter of consolation to Umesh Chandradatta, a fellow disciple. This is the letter. Calcutta, Durga Puja, 1921. Dear Umesh, upon receiving your letter, I received that we have truly lost our mother. Alas, 1 year has passed since she disappeared from us. There is a saying that children pass through a hard time for a year after losing their mother. However, here is a song. Mother, mother, my boat is sinking here in the ocean of this world. Fiercely the hurricane of delusion rages on every side. Clumsy is my helmsman, the mind, stubborn my 6 oarsmen, the passions. Into a pitiless wind I sailed my boat, and now it is sinking. Split is the rudder of devotion, tattered is the sail of faith. Into my boat the waves are pouring. Tell me, what shall I do? For with my failing eyes, alas, nothing but darkness do I see. Here in the waves I will swim, O Mother, and cling to the raft of your name. Now, where is the way out? When a mother spanks her children, they cry, saying, "Mother, mother," to go back to her lap. The children's only resort is to cry and call out to their mother, like kittens, "Let her will be done." What more shall I write to you? Your condition and my condition are the same. Now the only thing we can do is to call Mother, Mother. Today is Bodhan, the awakening ceremony of the Divine Mother who has come to receive the worship in Bengal as Durga, the same mother who took human form and thought of our welfare till the 21st of July last year. Is she not thinking of us now? It is impossible for her mother for Holy Mother to forget us. The other day I had a dream. The mother said to me, "As you saw me when I gave up the body, that body was made of Maya. Look, I still remain in the same form." Miss Josephine MacLeod was a wonderful American devotee and very dear to Holy Mother, who called her Jaya. When the mother passed away, Jaya was staying in England with her niece, Alberta. After receiving the sad news, she wrote to Swami Sharadananda. 15th of August, 1920, Hallscroft, Stratford-on-Avon. Dear Sharadananda, first from dear Mrs. Sevier, other from Boshi Sen after he returned from the cremation at the Mott, that have I have heard of Holy Mother's death on July 21st. And so that brave, quiet, strong soul has gone out, having left to modern Hindu womanhood the ideal of the great place that woman is to take in the next 3,000 years. To me, her life is one of intense encouragement, gathering all of us under her sheltering and understanding life, creating new precedents as new needs arise, self-reliant, direct, wise. Oh, what an example to each of us. She created new precedents, and so must we, not hers, but our own. In no other way can the world's problems be solved. Conclusion. In one sense, Holy Mother's biography ends here, as she entered into the minds of innumerable people around the world. Shortly after Holy Mother's passing, hundreds of people who knew her personally began to record their reminiscences. Some of her disciples and devotees wrote biographies and articles about her, composed poems and songs about her, and spoke about her privately and publicly for more than half a century after her passing away. Now, Holy Mother has been enshrined in millions of homes. She has entered the hearts of millions and millions of people all over the world. People are now meditating on her divine form, repeating her name, praying to her for solace and succor, getting inspiration from her immortal life and message, and thus glorifying the greatness and divinity of Holy Mother. The play of divine beings never stops. Only the fortunate ones witness it. Swami Shantananda, an attendant of Holy Mother, narrated how long after her passing away he received a command from the Holy Mother that reassured him of her living presence. He said that during her lifetime, the Mother had once told him how to receive her command. And here's what he says. If there is any crisis in your life, remember me. Isolate yourself from others for a few days and practice japa and meditation intensely. Pray wholeheartedly and ask me, Mother, what shall I do? During that period, eat less and keep your body and mind pure. Try to maintain silence and speak only if it is absolutely necessary. Don't let other people know what you are doing. Continue your prayer and sadhana in this way with one pointed mind. Never lose patience. If you see that you are not receiving my command, still you should not give up hope. If you find that no response is coming, then know for certain that your mind has not risen high enough to receive my command. You will definitely receive my command if you call on me with wholehearted faith and devotion. This is truly a gospel of hope for children of the Mother. The compassionate Mother left clear and simple directions for us to reach her when we are buffeted by tension and anxiety, temptation and frustration, trials, tribulations, crisis, and depression, when we can find no other way out from the turbulent ocean of Maya. Holy Mother was infinite. No biographer can write her complete biography. When Swami Sharadananda visited Varanasi after the Mother had passed away, some elderly monk said to him, "Please write a biography of the Holy Mother. so that future generations might understand her life correctly. You have performed a great service for the world by writing the biography of Sri Ramakrishna. It would be wonderful if you were to write the mother's life. Instead of responding directly, the Swami recited this song in Bengali. I was amazed to witness the play of the playful mother, but now I wonder whether to laugh or cry. So long did I live near her and follow her steps, yet I failed to understand, and now acknowledge my defeat. Various are her actions in this world, destroying and creating. All this is child's play to her. This much I have understood. Ooh, everybody all right?
Just barely.
Yes. You know, this little thing that she wrote here that she gave to this Swami, to Swami Shantanananda, on how to hear her. Very interesting. Very interesting. I'll read it again just so that you can know if you need to talk to Mother directly, then this is the way to do it. If there is any crisis in your life, remember me. Isolate yourself from others for a few days and practice japam and meditation intensely. Pray wholeheartedly and ask me, Mother, what shall I do? During that period, eat less and keep your body and mind pure. Try to maintain silence and speak only if it is absolutely necessary. Don't let other people know what you are doing. Continue your prayer and sadhana in this way with one pointed mind. Never lose patience. If you see that you are not receiving my command, still you should not give up hope. If you find that no response is coming, then know for certain that your mind has not risen high enough to receive my command. You will definitely receive my command if you call on me with wholehearted faith and devotion. Yes.
If you're rereading parts, could you reread the song that M wrote in that letter?
Mother, Mother, my boat is sinking here in the ocean of this world. Fiercely the hurricane of delusion rages on every side. Clumsy is my helmsman, the mind. Stubborn my 6 oarsmen, the passions. Into a pitiless wind I sailed my boat, and now it is sinking. Split is the rudder of devotion, tattered is the sail of faith. Into my boat the waters are pouring. Tell me, what shall I do? For with my failing eyes, alas, nothing but darkness do I see. Here in the waves I will swim, O Mother, and cling to the raft of your name.
Tremendous.
Yes, that's beautiful. Here in the waves I will swim, O Mother, and cling to the raft of your name. Indeed. All right, well, there's still quite a bit to read. There's an appendix and an epilogue, and then several diaries, Swami Sharadananda's, Swami Nirlapananda's, and that's mostly it. And then a chronology of her whole life. All right, so we'll go ahead and start the epilogue here. I salute the Divine Mother, Sri Sharada Devi and Sri Ramakrishna, the Guru of the world. Taking shelter at their lotus feet, I bow down to them again and again. We have made a long journey with Holy Mother, following her divine drama with innumerable characters over a period of nearly 7 decades. Readers might be curious to know what happened after her passing away to some of the people who performed important roles in the Holy Mother's play. Blessed are those souls who recognize the Mother's divinity by her grace, and equally blessed are they who recognized her as human. We can see the Mother's divine and human aspects through them. They all left their wonderful experiences and fascinating stories, which are now objects of meditation for us. Holy Mother's Nieces. Appendix 5 presents Holy Mother's family tree, which will help the reader to visualize her connections with her close relations. Holy Mother's nieces, Nalini, Sushila, known as Maku, and Radharani, known as Radhu, revealed her human aspects. Though they had their sweet and loving aspects, these women were often jealous, angry, selfish, sensitive, narrow-minded, and quarrelsome. Nalini had a hysterical mania for cleanliness and purity, and the others had strong attachments to worldly life. One should not be upset by the strange behavior of these women and their ill treatment of their aunt, because they were acting in their roles to glorify the life of Holy Mother. In Holy Mother's divine drama, they represented people who are endowed with more or less similar traits. It is worth noting how Holy Mother lived harmoniously among these complex characters, how she tackled their problems and maintained her sanctity. Her teachings to her nieces are meant for all human beings who have similar problems. Her love and compassion, forbearance and forgiveness conquered their hearts, and despite their shortcomings, they knew that their aunt was their all in all. When Holy Mother passed away, her niece's miserable condition was like that of the relatives of Krishna when he departed from the world. Uddhava described it to Vidura. This world is unfortunate, and more unfortunate are the people of the Yadu dynasty. As fish do not recognize the glory of the full moon as long as they see its reflection in the water, considering it to only be one among themselves, so did the Yadus fail to realize Lord Hari, who was living with them. It is amazing that they did not know Krishna was the Lord of all beings, but under the influence of Maya, some looked upon him as the chief of their dynasty, some as a relative, some as a friend, and others as an enemy. All right, we'll stop there today. Next week, we'll start with each of their nieces has something to say here. So